Good morning, everyone. Everybody's favorite day of the week, Wednesday, Junior. Sagar, what's going on?
Well, Senator Josh Hawley and I spoke about a new proposal that he has about wiping out student loan debt. The president, of course, is doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on his tweets, and the squad is fighting back. So all of that is coming up today on Rising. Good morning, everybody. Krystal, what is on your radar?
So I'm looking at Joe Biden this morning. He's out with his health care plan, Bidencare. And here's the basic idea. So he'd keep the Obamacare structure. He'd add in a public option, and he would allow eligible citizens in states that did not expand Medicaid to be able to get that public option for free. Now, here's my take. This approach has some major problems. Let's start with the politics, since you're not going to get very far if the politics aren't good. On its very best day, the truth is that the American public has very tepid feelings towards Obamacare. According to Gallup, even today, when Obamacare is nearly as popular as it has ever been, the public is still basically 50-50 split on how they feel about it. And it's not hard to understand why. Obamacare is complicated. It pits the poor who get free care against the working poor who get partially subsidized care, against the working middle class, which gets a government mandate. It has the word Obama in it. But most problematically, it keeps the essential dynamic of healthcare companies seeking profit at the expense of your health firmly in place. Perhaps that's related to the fact that Biden's campaign launched with a fundraiser hosted by the CEO of Independence Blue Cross. Just a thought there, but I digress. Contrast this to Medicare for All, which is easy to understand. It doesn't advantage one class over another class, and it reliably polls really quite well. A recent Morning Consult poll had Medicare for All, the supposedly bigger, scarier policy, polling at 55%. 78% of Dems support it, and 56% of independents. Simply on the politics alone, why would you go for the messy, less impactful, less popular thing? Even this guy's come around to it.
So Democrats aren't just running on good old ideas like a higher minimum wage. They're running on good new ideas like Medicare for all.
Bidencare has some policy problems as well, though. First of all, several experts have pointed out that offering the public option for free to people in states that did not expand Medicaid effectively rewards those states and likely ensures that some or all of the states that did expand Medicaid will then roll that back. After all, why would you spend any state money when you can get that federal money for free? Second, continuing to make workers dependent on their employers for health care is a major problem. It's one more way that labor sees their power eroded, one more reason that they can't get up and go when they're treated unfairly in the workforce. And for the millions who are separated from their jobs every single year, it is one more way that they can fall into the healthcare abyss. But finally, and in my view most significantly, it's wrong on principle. And here's why. Either healthcare is a right or it's not. In Bidencare, the ranks of the uninsured would be diminished, to be sure, but millions will still remain uninsured. Now, if you purport to believe in healthcare as a fundamental right, this outcome is simply unacceptable. That you would craft a plan where this is the intended result is unfathomable. And how can you go to the American people and say, I'm sorry that you don't have health care, but we're going to give health care to undocumented immigrants? They would rightly be outraged. In the end here, it's really pretty simple. If you believe health care should be universal, then stop making excuses and fight for health care that is truly universal. And Sagar, I don't know why we never learned the lessons of the past. I ran for Congress in 2010, which was a Democratic bloodbath, in part over backlash to Obamacare. The public has never loved it. It's always been too complicated, and it's always been too favorable, frankly, to the health insurance industry.
I see the same dynamics in this party to the debates on the right over immigration. For years, Republicans voters were like, please restrict trade and restrict immigration. And for years, Republicans were like, oh, we'll do this, we'll do comprehensive reform and throw in all this stuff that people don't like and all this. And then Trump just came along and said, we're going to build a wall, which is just signaling, which means we're going to restrict immigration.
Yeah.
That's all people want. For years, Democratic voters have been like, hey, we want universal health care.
We want
That's
everybody
all
to have
we want.
healthcare.
All we want is universal health care. We want it to go down in price, and we want it to be universal. And for years and years and years, Democratic voters or Democratic lawmakers have said, well, if we do Obamacare, then the public option debate, then Rahm Emanuel and Obama cave in 2009 to the problems with the legislative process. But again, that's all. People don't care about that part. They just want to hear that you're for it in the first place.
Well, and on the reality of, yes, Medicare for all, will it be hard to get past? Absolutely. Will any substantive change to Obamacare be hard to get past? Of course it will. So why not go for the thing you actually want? Logistically, it is the same.
I agree with you. Logistically, it's the same because anything that is a threat to the healthcare company is going to be fought with hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yes.
So if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right. This is something Republicans could learn as well, I should add.
By the way, the health insurance industry came out yesterday with a statement opposing what Biden is trying to do here.
Yeah.
They will dig in, just like you said, and spend whatever it takes to keep any meaningful reform from happening.
There you go.